Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. As always, I am Jonathan, your host here at QuickBird Gaming. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of QuickBird News, where we cover 7 days of gaming news in less than 7 minutes. Trying a new video camera. We're going to see how this one works. Maybe I won't look quite so grainy from here on out. But anyway, QuickBird News. We're doing Sunday, 19 January to Saturday, 25 January. And since I'm on the clock, let's get into it. First story I got to talk about is this one from IGN, published on Thursday, 23 January. Xbox Developer Direct 2025, everything that was announced. Now, this stream took place on the same day, and it was a good stream, actually. It's not quite an hour long, so I recommend you check it out. I'll link it down below if you haven't seen it. But basically, there were some major games announced. Kind of the surprise takeaway was Ninja Gaiden 4. I don't think anybody was expecting that. And they're looking at a fall release for this year. Also, Doom. The next Doom game, a prequel. I think it's a prequel to, I think they said down here, to Doom and Doom Eternal. So it's going to be coming out in May, on May 15th. So that's exciting news. And then South of Midnight is set for April, and Claire Obscure Expedition 33 also set for April. Coming to the Xbox. They're also coming to PC, and some of these are coming to PlayStation as well. So anyway, I would recommend go and check out the stream. Lots of gaming goodness coming our way. Well, we had gaming goodness just now, and now we have to go to gaming badness, as this article from Eurogamer posted yesterday on Friday, 24 January, points out. Dragonage the Veilguard has received its final major update. As you scroll down and you look at it, they say patch 5 includes a few bug fixes and one quality of life change, and a thank you to the players for playing. And basically, BioWare said they will look for game-breaking bugs for the future, but that's going to be it in terms of updates. There will be no DLC, there will be no New Game Plus, and really no more content added to the game. Earlier this week, according to this article right here, EA said Dragon Age the Veilguard had missed the publisher's own internal targets after it engaged 1.5 million players, down nearly 50% from the company's expectations. Now, bear in mind, 1.5 million players engaged does not mean sales. That includes demos, giveaways, probably refunds. So this game everything is pointing to the fact that it significantly underperformed, and maybe fatally. As I covered last week, the director of BioWare has already left the company. And I'm afraid if you're a betting person, I would say they won't be the last one. And this dovetails into the next article, this article published on Game Rant, also on Friday, 24 January, that says EA shares suffer decline after underperforming game sales, where Dragon Age Veilguard is cited as one of those games. Now, the EA Sports FC 25, Football Club 25, sold very well, but not as well as they had hoped. And the first line says it all. The shares of Electronic Arts, have lost over 16% of their value this week, incurring losses of $6 billion. It's a tough time to be in the AAA game industry, let me tell you. And speaking of tough times in the AAA gaming industry, comes this article from Dual Shockers, published on Thursday, 24 January. Warner Brothers Games boss exits company after 12 years. And right here you can see challenging 2024 for WB Games, including the failure of Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, causing a 41% revenue drop. Warner Brothers Games had a hit in 2023 with Hogwarts Legacy, did very well, but I've seen figures for Suicide Squad, for Kill Justice League, that said it was a $200 million loser. Even big companies can't sustain that rate for very long. And it talks about the challenging year they have. And then you get this nugget. Given the massive revenue from the Harry Potter-themed open-world game, Warner Brothers CFO says its sequel is their top priority. I bet it is. Next up is this article from Games Radar, published on Thursday, 23 January. And the headline reads, in a roller coaster week for Horizon Zero Dawn fans, its MMO is apparently not canceled. Now, on Tuesday of this last week, there was a report out that Sony had canceled a number of live service and MMO projects, one of which was assumed to be Horizon's MMO because the project was simply named H and people associated with that. However, the original reporter of the article later came out and said the H I mentioned has nothing to do with Horizon, and inside sources have confirmed that the game is still on, though other live service or MMO games, one I think that was going to be on God of War's franchise and another on Days Gone, those have been canceled. But Horizon seemed to survive, so good news for Horizon fans there. At the same time, you have this article over on Digital Trends from Friday, 24 January, that says Sony region locked yet another PC port that doesn't require a PSN account. And that game would have been the PC port of Horizon Forbidden West. Now, so what Sony is doing is that basically if you're in a country where you can't get a PSN account, they region lock you out of these games. I don't know why Sony insists on doing this shit. It is stupid and foolish. And according to Eurogamer, they've quietly reverted and rolled this back. But come on, this is just shooting yourself in the foot. And Sony does seem to be a master at that. Finally, I'm going to touch on this article from Eurogamer, which was published on Monday, 20 January. That reads, Dino Horror Code Violet isn't coming to PC to stop us from making vulgar mods. Those vulgar mods. If you read down here, they say that they're not going to put it on PC, so it can't be modded because, quote, making a joke out of our art and possibly tarnishing the reputation of our voice actresses is not worth the extra money we can make. So my brother in Christ, it doesn't work that way. No voice actress is ever tarnished or had their reputation tarnished by the lewd fan art made of their in-game characters. It doesn't stick. Get out of here. That doesn't happen. Now, this announcement has prompted two major responses from the player base, one of which has been a cynical supposition that TeamKill Media is just trying to stir up controversy and get eyes on their product, given that their previous games haven't been all that successful or gotten reviewed all that well. In fact, one of them, the most reviewed one, is sitting at a 40 on Metacritic. That's one point of view. The other point of view is there's a horde of people who had never heard of this game that are now waiting to bombard TeamKill Media's social media with lewd fan art once the game releases. I think the first point of view is probably the correct one. That's true. And after the game releases, the second one is also going to be true. And that's going to do it for this week. Thanks for tuning in for this episode of Quick Bird News. If you hung with me till the end, I appreciate that. Sorry I ran over a few minutes. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing to the channel, drop a like or on the video, or drop a comment down below. I love all the feedback. In the meantime, I will see you next week for more Quick Bird video game news. You all go out there and live your best lives. And you all stay gaming and modding and producing fan art that the developers won't like. You're my people. You know what to do. Have a good one.